What's up, everybody? Welcome to What's in Your iPad. I'm your man, Cypha Omni, sitting here with Cheez Da Producer, chick on the beat, Ms.leD.
Thank you.
And we also have a new member on the podcast this week, J1Star B. Say what's up to everybody, man.
Hey, now what's going on, everybody?
And what we're gonna do this episode is get to know you a little bit, give everybody an opportunity to get to know all of us a little bit more, where we are, you know, what we do, what got us into music, and you know what we're doing with music and how we are in this iOS movement that we're doing right now. So who wants to kick it off?
J1, what's good? Welcome to the family.
Word.
Okay, guess I'll start it off. So, as folks don't know, J1Star, little known fact, did about, I think, like 23 something years in the military. But that ties in on basically the story of how I kind of got into iOS. So, before doing that, I was like Cheez, a Reason fan. Started off using Reason. Well, actually, we backed that off to actually get into the whole thing. So, once upon a time, 2003, when I was in Iraq for the first time, basically in my head was like, you know what? The worst thing that ever could happen to me is if I fall asleep in the middle of a war zone and wake up dead. So, with me and my people that was in my truck, what we'd play, you know, we get our CDs, CDs and stuff. We'd play them in the truck. We weren't supposed to, but it was like, look, it's survival. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to be that person. So we kept on playing until the batteries go dead. And back then, you didn't have like, you know, a commissary just easily just stop by and get more batteries. So there's times I just be in the hatch, just thinking of like every song that I could play in my head. And then like one day, I was just thinking of stuff in my head that wasn't something I never heard. And I was thinking, well, how in the world can I, you know, put this all together? And then that's kind of how I started using propeller head Reason. Like went on YouTube, went on to a site called Boy in the Band and started like going to all the tutorials. And then, so then one day in time while I deployed to Afghanistan, I wanted to start getting into DJing. And so when I went on R&R, I was like, hey, you know, let me start sourcing out some things, you know, some turntables, some mixes, stuff like that. And then once again, going on YouTube, I looking at people using Track the DJ or Track Their Pro, but it wasn't using no MIDI controls. They were using the iPad. But basically, they ad hoc the iPad onto their MacBook, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. That was the only reason why I got an iPad at first, because it's like, yo, if I could do that, go into the war zone and show. Because the people that taught me how to DJ was like Belgian soldiers, and so when I went back and I showed them, they just thought like their jaw just was on the floor. They're so used to, because they're so used to turntables, deep, you know, CDJs and all the other stuff. Here, this dude is just walking around the place, mixing songs as he pleased, and they just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So then after that, I was like, I wonder what I could take this. And then that's when I went. It was like Christmas 2012, and I bought like $300 worth of apps. That's like the most I ever bought in my life. And the app that I bought everything in was Aria Pro. So the funny thing about Aria Pro, so I literally just bought like 99% of everything. So then I was like, okay, let's start making music. I turned it on and I couldn't get no sound. And I was like, oh, it's like, you know, that feeling you had in your heart was like, oh man, I made a big mistake. And it was like, I was like, man, how can I return all this? This is like $300 worth of apps. Like if someone saw this on Twitter back in the days, oh man, I would just be meme forever. And then the solution to all it was, just buy Audio Bus. So I bought Audio Bus, and I finally got sound going. I was like, whoo! and then ever since then, it's like, man, it's just been an awesome journey. Like the cool thing about an iPad that I've learned was like, okay, like yeah, folks who get paid thousands of dollars of going to colleges or schools, you know, for music production stuff like that. Like I literally learned everything I learned basically on a tablet, using a tablet, and it's like if I were to go into a studio, I won't totally look like an absolute fool because I could be like, oh, this is kind of like the mixer on Aria or the mixer on whatever, and just go with it. Or oh, this is kind of like, you know, like go to EQ or stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like I can literally go to anywhere and not be a total idiot in the studio. And that's the thing that people need to understand with you know the tools iOS, like folks want to like bash on it, but it's like this is like a great education tool. This is the ultimate great education tool because it's like you don't necessarily need to go to school and spend thousands of dollars and be like, okay, I'm not sure if I want to pursue this here. If you already got an iPhone or a tablet, you can go in there and try it out. And if it's not to your liking, okay, cool, no harm, no foul. But if you want to go even further, then at least you right there, and then like I said, you can be proficient and can literally just go to a studio and make things happen. Or you can be like, okay, here's FL Studio. I might not understand how the workflow, but I know if I get the audio or if they got soft synths, I can still roll with it. Same thing for Reason. The same thing for basically any DAW that's a computer desktop DAW. So it's like that's like one of the cool things about it. And plus, it's portable. Like some of my craziest thing, like some of my best work, where I say best work, has been when I'm like deployed or in like another country, because it's like there I can sit down and be on the train and actually do things. Normally, because when I be in the States, I'm the one that's always driving from here to there. But then like in Korea, I can just sit on the train and just make some stuff. Or if I'm in like the middle of like you just got off duty or some work, I can just go in there and start making stuff happen. Like it's just one of those things
sure
where
one of those things that probably takes your mind away too. You know what I'm saying, from your duties right then and there. You know what I'm saying? I bet that's a great outlet too, to just have that tangibly right there in front of you, like you use it, having an iOS device with you. Because we were just talking about that recently on the I think on the last episode we were talking about how convenient it is, and having your travels, being on the train and so what and so forth. And I think that's pretty dope, man, because your sentiments sound pretty much the same as everybody else's with the iOS.
And then the cool thing is, it's like, because back in the days, like, we probably all went through, like, we have our desktop DAW that we keep in the house and stuff like that. You could be like away from it and just have ideas left and right and left and right. Yeah. And then you go in there and you turn it on and it's like everything just goes blank.
Yeah, because you gotta wait for it to load up.
And being confined, yeah.
Right.
And that different scenery got to be crazy inspiring. Like being in all these places and in the world. Like I would make some killer beats if I'm sitting in Japan.
Yeah. I see dirty ass Bronx.
Hey, I'm in the dump. I'm in the dump. The whole New York dump.
I was in Long Island last night, and it was crazy because I heard crickets. I was like, man, I ain't heard crickets in so long. You see this big ass bug assaulted me last night. Fell on my face like And after he fell on my face, fell on my arm, and I plucked him. And he like took the pluck like I eat those.
Yeah, I forgot you two are the New Yorkers, definitely. Y'all right there, New Yorkers, pure New Yorkers.
Yeah, man.
New Yorkers. Where are you at, J1? Where you at?
Oh, Jacksonville, Florida. So I'm going to everybody.
Ooh, you got that humidity and the big ass mosquitoes.
Oh yeah, man. Like you see my windshield. Yep, I put it on everything.
Yeah, man. How long you been in Florida?
Well, for my first 18 years, and I joined the military, and then I got out, just came back.
Yeah, there you go.
So
that's what's up, man.
Let me ask you, because we all did this episode 1. We went through our 5 favorite apps. So what are your 5 favorite apps? And I know I just blindsided you, so I'll give you a minute to think, because there's so many out there.
We can edit
you're
it.
Right. I mean, for more or less, for currently right now, my 5 favorite apps would be Nano Studio 2 would be number 1 for like the DAW. Like the reason why I use Nano Studio 2 because of Obsidian Synth. Obsidian Synth is just awesome because it's like I have all the envelopes to all the LFOs, and you can still kind of do a little bit of sampling in there that actually just make things happen, and it's just low CPU efficiency. It's kind of like a weird version of BM3, and that's how I put it towards there. And so then with that, my second one, it would have to be Pulp House from Audio Damage. Like lately, I've been like when it first came out, I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I have finally got something to do, that auto pump. But then the beginning, like when you went to export, especially on like any DAW, no matter what it was, you try to export it, the effect would just be gone. But ever since they fixed that, that's been like my favorite go-to. Like a lot of my songs, you can basically hear it just, just pumping and coursing throughout each of the song. And number 3 would be, honestly, I don't know what number 3 would be, because the rest of it is just basically just going with those 2 things right there. Well, actually, you know what? I'll put Beatmaker 3 as number 3, because what people don't understand is like, okay, Beatmaker 3 is like one of the most greatest place to actually do sound design in. I think that and Audio Pro, more or less, I'd say Audio Pro, because you can actually do with one finger move the actual audio file around. But with Beatmaker 3, when it comes to like slicing, edits, and chopping and doing pitch shifting, like that's bar none. It's just a great one. And then you can easily just export it and put it in the file right there. Like people got to understand, like filing everything, like that's crucial. And Beatmaker 3 is one of those apps that nail it in the park. And that's for like synth sounds, like software synths, or synth apps. It's like I use so many of them. Like at any point, it's like if I feel like, say, Phosphor 2, I go with Phosphor 2, or maybe like say Synth Master 1. Like for me, it's like anything I can just think of, and I just use it, and I just go with it. Like going like over the years, like I use like the like a Place or Rinse for like the longest of time, and then I went on to the Moogs, and it's like now I want to actually go into like true sound design, where it's like I can just go outside, take record those same crickets that Cheez saw, and just turn them into like a synth. Like that's like my ultimate goal, just to actually start doing, because it's like once you understand you can make sound using sound, or using sound signals to affect sound signals, like it just becomes just your whole mind just becomes a universe. Just when it's like just me just saying, I can just turn that to like some snares and hi-hats. And when you start thinking like that, it's like man, this is just like life is good.
Yeah, infinite possibilities at that point. Definitely. It's like opening Pandora's box.
Yeah. So we was talking before how everybody had got into music, like too. How'd y'all get into like making beats and stuff like that?
I always loved it since a kid. Like I remember being like, they got video of me at like the old school video too, like the crazy film where that shit bounces, where I'm like 4 years old trying to break dance. I just always been a hip hop head, and I always loved hip hop beats. And I started rapping first.
Yeah,
I used to rap. Yeah, I have a few albums out there, but I stopped that.
Don't sleep.
That was my thing. But I wasn't 100% happy. Like I love to write. That's like my biggest thing. But I always liked the background, the production. That's what makes me 100% happy. Like putting everything together. I think that's my thing in life. Like just being able to put things together and make it a complete project is what I really like. And to be honest, I know it's gonna sound so funny, but like I have 3 kids. You know what I mean? My youngest is 16, my oldest is 22. So at some point you got to be like, mom is not going to be rapping anymore. I got to grow the fuck up. So I was like, I'm just going to chill with the rapping. It's not my love. So I kind of sat back, and that's really the reason. I mean, not that I couldn't get on a song right now and murder it. I definitely could. I did the other day. You know what I mean? But it's just,
and she will.
Yeah, Cypha's forcing me out of retirement.
For one song you doing?
No, for 2, the remix too. But I'm getting on that remix. If I'm doing the first one, I'm doing the remix. But
I just found you on Apple Music.
There's so many people that.
Afternoon in Central Park. That's not you.
Nah, there's so many people with my name, like, which is funny because I'm ASCAP and everything, but so many people. Listen, I even got sued for my name. My original was with the I. It was MsLeD. Yeah, remember that, bro? What was that, like 12 years ago? This something rock like group, this white rock group sued me for my name. So I changed it. I took the I out and just made it MsLeD. But and then I did everything officially, and so they really shouldn't even be on there, and I could pull them at any time, but it's like, I'm not rapping right now, so I don't even care. But my love is production, so I actually, like, I think I said it last episode. What happened about 12, 15 years ago, I think, matter of fact, it actually was about 17 years ago, because my youngest wasn't even born. I used to, you know, being stupid, didn't know too much. I used to just throw every beat I made on the internet. And this is when the internet was first popping. I was on AOL, like literally dial-in. You got to wait 3 hours to get online. And I used to just throw, me and Cypha, we used to be on a lot of forums and battle rap. That's how we started battling. We used to battle cats. I used to be in the Bronx all the time battling this shit too. But we started doing it on the internet for, you know, contests and all type of shit on all these websites, and we became known. And I used to throw all my beats on there, and a very known producer and rapper, he's a rapper too, he raps over his own shit, stole one and really became famous off of one of my beats, and that broke my heart. So I just fell back and I stopped producing for years, and I just started again, like literally a couple of years ago, like fuck it, because I missed it.
Man.
Yeah, so, but it was a lesson learned. But play with me now, all my shit is right. I hope one of you play with me now and take something, please. But
that was just one of the demises that we had, you know, starting out real early.
Yeah, just being young and not knowing.
Just not knowing anything.
Right.
It was all still pretty new.
And like Cypha said last episode too, we talked about there's one of the top 5. I guarantee he's top 5 in everyone's list that stole some of Cypha's lyrics off the internet. You know what I mean? And that's where he didn't even catch it. I caught it and called him like, yo, bro, you heard this new album? Well, I'm sending you this track. Go listen to it right now. And he's like, yo, that sound familiar. Yeah, that's yours, fool. That's why it sounds familiar. You spit this 5-6 years ago on this track. Like, because I remember everything. I got a good memory. And yeah, it's just crazy. You just gotta, you know. Yeah, he was just like, what?
People was bugging like, yo, that track is fire. Did you hear such a... I'm like, yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy that y'all say that, because like that kind of happened to me in a way of, okay, so in my process of trying to be like, okay, you know what, my stuff sounded good enough. Maybe I should try the whole thing of like putting it out on the internet, because I didn't know that. I was naive, you know, still in late 30s, not knowing it. I'm naive. I'm trying, hey, let me try BeatStar and stuff like that. Or I was trying to like, how can I get myself out there when I was trying to be, you know, all popular and stuff like that. And so I was going on there and I was looking at this one article, and this one person like, hey, try to use Creative Commons. And so Creative Commons is basically, it's like, it's still a copyright, but it's basically, you can use my song, but you guys got to be able to say, hey, this was made by the producer. So I did that, and like I had an album, it was called, and one of the songs was called Crispy Roses, which I made like 2015, and like the bell sound, I used Magellan, because that was the time I was like, ooh, because I was looking on YouTube, like, oh, I can make bell sound, so I made bell sound, and so I did that. Like, if y'all go on the internet right now, go to YouTube and put J1 and not star, but the star asterisk, like on the computer, like Shift and 8, and type in Crispy Roses, and if you listen to the intro of it, it will sound like a song that everyone probably know and love.
And it probably is. Because
it is.
Listen, I was in a music company for years, and that's what they do. They steal shit from all of us underground people. They just
got a whole subdivision. Got a whole floor.
There was a like, I remember going to a label at a time, dropping demos off or whatever, and then like I remember like this one beat that was on my demo, and now the beat that I made, like the mix was ass, like, and everything like that, but like the structure of the song, like you could hear like the chords and everything in it, and then like there was this real popular R&B song that came out, and I remember I heard it, I was like, wait a minute, I was like, because like before, as it was going along, I'd never heard it before, and I'm sitting down at the keyboard and I'm playing it, like, nah, like, nah. Like,
it throws you off. Like, I can't believe it. Like, is this real? Like,
And I told my boy, I was like, yo, I think this nigga stole my song. He's like, you want to sue them? I was like, I can't sue nobody. He's like, number one, I don't have a lawyer. Number two, this is a conglomerate, bro. Like,
yeah, and you got to have that good lawyer money to come up against them.
Yeah, they'll just keep you in court, just to take all your money away. So you be like, nah, you know what, forget it. Like,
that's how lawsuits go against high powered attorneys and groups of attorneys. They'll drag your ass out, boy. You know,
that's sort of thing.
You know, in the beginning, there was nothing there to help us. You know what I mean? Now there's so many different things where you could run your thing through and you own it. You know, they know you own it. So if it comes out again, they pick it up. You know, so many things now. Thank God
that you can use to protect yourself.
We came a long way. Yeah.
Exactly. And but the lesson that I learned from there were actually two things. Like, number one, you know, you got to be more careful and protect yourself. And then number two, that was my thought process. Because like when I heard it, like, sure, I could have been like, yeah, I could have went on the internet and caused a big stink. But then I was like thinking, wait, if I made something that someone sampled just the intro of it and made a well-known hit, I can keep on making stuff. That gave me the motivation of, hey, if I did that, I can make the next one's going to be better than that.
Right.
Like, okay, you can have that. You know, that showed that, hey, you know, that I'm on to something. And that's how I thought about it. That's how I just kept on going.
Funny. It's funny that you say that too, because that kind of correlated to some of the stuff that happened to me early on too, where I ended up ghostwriting for some people.
Right.
So I mean, like people's like,
that's where we both ended up. We ventured into just ghostwriting, right? And then we were stuck there for a while. Listen,
for a minute, and then
if it pays the bills, it pays the bills.
I mean, you know, then eventually it gets to the point where, you know, I just kind of got burnt out on doing that too. Like, man, you know,
you just need to do your own thing. You know, so much time could pass, but that itch it's in you, and you just got to do your own thing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Because I know what got me started in the music. Like my dad is a musician. Well, was a musician. He still messes around and stuff like that too. My father, he used to be a drummer, and so naturally, when I was a kid, I was on the drums and the piano. You know, he bought me my first keyboard when I was like, maybe 4 or 5 years old, something like that. He had me on the drums since I could sit on his lap. So, you know, so I always just messed around. He always played a lot of just live band music and, you know, old school. I mean, I was exposed to so many different types of music that I just always had a love for it. And so, you know, throughout the years, I dabbled in other instruments and stuff like that. And, you know, but the older I got, the more I kind of understood this element called hip hop. And I'm like, man, you know, I'm really feeling this. Like, man, I like what they did with this. And I like, how did they do that? Or, man, did you hear what he just said? So I immediately fell in love because originally I started out more in the R&B as a kid. You know, I was big in the R&B, a lot of R&B and 70s funk bands and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm still a big nerd when it comes to that. Like, shoot, Cameo came through last year. I had to go see him. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
I had to go see Cameo and Morris Day. Morris Day.
Morris Day used to be my shit, bro. Remember when they used to have the BMI tape companies where you would get the tapes for like a penny or something like that? Yeah. Yo, I had like wild Morris Day tapes, bro.
I used to wear it.
Do that dance.
Yeah, word. So, you know, I'm big on you know, so those 80s bands and stuff like that, and groups and stuff like that. So but long story short, I always had a love for music. And so when I discovered that, you know, I can actually kind of do some music myself, you know, I started out, everybody, you know, kind of like with the whole church choir and singing in the choir and stuff like that. You know, that was cool and all. And then I was just kind of like, well, man, I really like this rap shit though. So, you know, so I just, you know, I think since middle school, I started writing rhymes and stuff like that, but I would never spit them in front of everybody. I was just known as the beatbox cat, because I could beatbox my ass off. So I would beatbox for the freestyle, for the Cypha circles, and that's where the name Cypha came from. He's like, yo, turn for Cypha, and basically they hollered at me to start with the beatbox. You know,
which is crazy because he has crazy presence, like, and he just has that, like, it's natural for him, like.
That's dope. That's what's up.
So I was real shy and timid about spitting my rhymes and stuff like that for years, until I hooked up with some of my buddies that I'm still, you know, great friends with to this day, best friends. We called ourselves Delphi, not to be confused with Illadelphi or nothing like that, but we called it a Dominion of Enlightened Lyricists Promoting Higher Intelligence. And so, Yeah. And so what we would do is, sit back and write rhymes, stuff like that. And my boy Darius, shout out to Darius, Vision. You remember Vision from the board, sis?
Yep.
Yeah. He used to be like, bro, man, your stuff is dope, man. You need to spit that in the circle. Like, you need to spit some of this stuff. It's fire. And I'm thinking, I don't know, man. I'm thinking it's corny. And I'm like, it's cool and stuff. Like, man, ain't nobody gonna be feeling this old super scientific lyrical type of shit that I be on sometimes. But I tell you what, one day I did it, and then shit, that was it ever since. Everybody's like, yo, this, man, how long you, man, since when did you start? What? And so, and then that's when it started migrating into, like my boy, shout out to Inertia. You can find him on IG too. He makes a lot of beats and stuff like that. Him and some other cats and XV. A lot of cats know who XV is. These cats would come to school and we would all be in the Cypha circles, and cats would bring in their instrumentals. We'd have to play them over the Walkman with the speaker, or, on the boombox or something like that. And, ever since then, we would just compete all the time. And then fast forward a little further, at the same time, that's when the internet was starting to pick up, and I was getting into forums and messing around on the internet, and got into the battle rap scene on the internet. And that's how me and Sis hooked up. Was hooking up on the battle rap scene on the internet, and, tearing cats' heads off back then.
Yeah, I was running through a bunch of cats, and he was like, who's this bitch? Who is this?
Like, this chick is killing these niggas. Like, who is this? And then, so that, that's how that marriage came to fruition. But yeah, we used to tear cats' heads off on the internet as far as the early battle rap days. Early battle rap days. With cats like Mickey Fax and Half Past Seven, and like there was a whole bunch of us that was just starting out back then in the battle rap scene on the internet, versus what it is now with the URL and KOTD and all these other battle rap organizations. But,
we started that shit.
Yeah, we came from the early ground floor stages of what it turned into now. But,
what's crazy too? Not to interrupt you, bro, but I'm gonna interrupt you. One day, I don't know what I was looking. Oh, I'm bugging. I was looking for Driz. This bitch I think was better than me as a lyricist. This chick that we met.
Track with Driz.
Yeah, me too. I got like a half a mixtape we never dropped, which is sad because she's amazing. Her name was Driz Mommy, but she retired. But anyway, I was thinking about her recently, so I was like looking shit up to try to find her, and I ended up on Wiki, and it was if you look up battle rap and go to the wiki, me and Driz are in there for just smoking dudes and starting shit before Queen of the Ring and stuff. And I was tripping like, wow, this is crazy. I never even knew this existed.
Yeah, word.
Good old days.
Yeah. So what was the name of the website? Ms.leD had her own website too.
We had so many. We had Words of Wisdom was the one. Yeah. Sacred Society.
A lot of us was heavy on Sacred Society.
It was a few. I don't even remember all of them.
LO.
Yeah. It was so many.
But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of how I really got into doing music. But as far as beat making, I was never big into making beats myself until pretty much the iOS Sis been beating me upside the head for the last few years. Like, yo, you need to get you an iPad so you can do this. Yo, you need to get you an iPad and do this. And I'm like, man, I don't even know nothing about Apple. I don't know nothing about none of that stuff.
And this is because I know he's capable of it. I know what's in it. He's a musician at heart. So I'm like, listen, and you're going to stop asking me to make your albums and you're going to make a damn album. Because I'm busy. You're going to have to make some beats.
last album I recorded, Two Halves of the Same Brain. Shout out to Bloody Hands. Did that, it was just scheduled studio time.
That's a crazy album too. Definitely get that.
Online. Check it out. Yeah, Two Halves of the Same Brain. And we record that whole album in like 3 hours. So
yeah, him and Bloody Hands, that's a crazy duo. Like that album is insane.
Yeah, I'll make sure I'll send you guys a link to it or something. So
yeah, definitely send me some links to it.
Yeah.
You're gonna wake the fuck up when you start playing this. That's all I'm saying. You're just gonna wake up like, oh shit.
So, but yeah, that was the last album we done, and that was like, I want to say like 4 years ago now, something like that. But that's why it's time to do something new, because I jumped into beat making over the last year and a half. I've only been trying to learn this production game on iOS for like the last year and a half. So you know, I'm still a baby in the game as far as iOS production, so to speak. At the same time, and I love it and I enjoy it, and you know, I'm gonna keep trying to get better at it. You know, that's just having fun. Just having fun with it.
That's crazy. That's dope, man. See, I started like making beats like in '99, but like before that, like I went to school for music. With the dude who party I went to last night, he was all like in a music school or whatever, and I remember my boy talking. I was in 7th grade. Pete Rock did this song with this dude named Adore, Let It All Hang Out, and that song, and then They Reminisce Over You, I think, came out in that same year.
That's my joint. I got the vinyl right behind me.
Yeah, I got the vinyl too. I got that, the vinyl for that, and the vinyl for Straighten It Out. Those, literally those 2 singles, or those 3 singles, I should say, the Let It All Hang Out, Troy, and Straighten It Out. My man had came to school, was like, yo, I heard Pete Rock got paid $5,000 to make that beat. I was like, $5,000? He was like, yeah. Ever since then, like I've been eyeing my mother's vinyl. And like everything, I was like, yo, as soon as I get a sampler, it's on. Like even when I was in high school, I would buy CDs, I would buy mad old music. I'd be like, yo, when I get a sampler, I'm gonna sample this, I'm gonna sample that, I'm gonna sample this, sample that. And then like one summer, I was talking to my homeboy, and because I was playing like bass in a jazz band and shit like that. And he was like, and we was DJing like parties and stuff like that, and we was DJing on the radio. And he was like, yo, I thought you said you wanted to make beats. I was like, I do, I just can't afford no samples. He's like, yo, we could work up here this summer. They're gonna pay us. We can basically make our own schedule, and they'll pay us like they paid us a nice little amount of money. So I took my first check, bought me you remember the akai S20s? I bought me one of those. I bought that. I bought a 4-track and a drum machine, a Yamaha keyboard. And then after that, I was making whack ass beats. I ain't gonna lie.
We all did. We all did.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes I still do. Like
I was gonna say, I still do.
The first joint of the day is usually fucking doo. Like you know,
it's opposite for me. Usually the first joint is fire, then the next one is poop. Like
it depends on the day, but I'm with Cheez though.
That first one. This that warm up. I'm gonna save this because I might come back to it and like it.
Come back.
But and then after that, like I just started buying mad like gear and mad hardware and stuff like that, and like yo, I used to rap as well, like, but I can never write a verse. Like I was always I was always collecting instrumentals, and if like I couldn't get the instrumental, I was like making like pause tapes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I will bring them to, like, when I was in high school, I'll bring them, like, to my boys. I'm like, yo, look what I got. Click. And they're like, yo, how you do that? I'm like, don't you worry about that. We just go straight to this. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I wanted to rap, but like, you know what I mean? But I was like, I was looking at, like what they was putting out there as rappers, and I knew I wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I can't get up and talk about no busting no guns and nothing like that. I was like, oh, I go to school. Like my mother's a teacher, and I go to school. You know what I'm saying? And yo, to this day, I tell my homeboy to this day, I was like, yo, man, like if Kanye would have been out in the 90s, I would probably have gone a different route. You know what I mean? Like because to me, Kanye was like the first rapper that came out and said like, yo, I don't shoot guns, I don't do this, I don't do that. I just like to rap and be a fucking nerd and a weirdo. And it's okay to do that. You know what I mean? Like, and like
he had the whole backpack movement behind him.
Yeah, you know, he's like, bro. Like Kanye was wearing Carlton Banks,
wearing the
polos,
the polos. Yeah,
bro. I remember watching Fresh Prince, like, yo, Carlton's shirts is fire. He's just not rocking them right. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be tucking them shits in like that. Like, what are you doing, bro? But I did I ended up like I said, I bought the gear and just ended up learning it. And like I've been hooked ever since, man. Like I've been hooked ever since. Like it's crazy because the microphone I have now, I bought off eBay in 1999 for like $100, and that joint still works, and it works perfectly. You know what I mean? And like people be like, "Yo, this mic is great, man. Must have cost you." I'm like, $100. You know, but like yo, it's crazy. Like just how far shit has come.
Yeah,
like,
word.
You know,
and everybody's respective journeys in it too. You know, and how far everything has came, man. You know, what's in front of us now is just incredible. It's incredible now.
What are we discussing next week?
I don't care. I mean, I'm open. What you thinking?
I don't know. I don't care. I have everything. If I don't have it, I'll get it. Actually, you know what we should do, Jay? Since I never really, it's funny. I have Nano Studio and never played with it. It just sat there. Maybe you could walk us through some Nano Studio next week.
Yeah, I can do that.
And tell us, the pros, the cons. Like
I need to get it.
Yeah, I don't have it.
And you know what? I'll play with it.
Yeah.
I'll play with it this week.
Nano Studio.
It's on the phone as well?
Nah, it's only on iPad.
On the iPad?
Now, the original Nano Studio, you can get it on the phone.
But it's Nano Studio 2?
Yeah, it's Nano Studio 2.
So, yeah, we are... Well, that didn't work well.
What's in your iPad?
What's in your iPad? This is I don't even know what number we're up to, but check us out on IG. Chick on the beat. We sample everything on IG. Fellas, plug your social medias.
Yeah, hit me up at Beatmakeristhesquad.
You can find me at J1Star Beats.
At J1Star Beats. You can get at me at Cypha Omni, CYPHA OMNI.